Something that I've realized is that there really is no failure. Like, you simply cannot fail if you do not see failure as an option. And what I mean by this is, even if let's say you're working towards a goal, you have like a goal in mind, something that you are pursuing, something that you're working towards. Of course, everyone wants to be successful in the things that they're doing. They want to experience some sort of positive byproduct from the work that they're putting in. But if you simply do not perceive failure, if it is just not an option for you, and you have the mindset that you are always still in the game being whatever it is you're pursuing, and the game being there's always an opportunity for you to grow and get better and work towards the things that you're doing. If you just have that mindset, your only option is success or reaching your goal. Obviously success, everyone's has a different version of success and a definition of success. But let's say you're pursuing a goal. Like, if you realize that you're still in the game, even if you fall flat on your face, even if you stumble, even if you take a few wrong turns, if you just keep that in the forefront of your mind, knowing that you can mess up, but turn around and start making progress again towards the direction that you want to head in, like, failure is just simply not an option and not a possibility. People spend a lot of time judging themselves, criticizing themselves because they don't make enough progress, or they feel like they're not making enough progress. And as long as you are being honest with yourself, honest with your effort, and you are consistently showing up in whatever way, shape, or form that may be for you. A lot of people think that you have to go flat out nonstop. I'm just not a believer in that. I think it's important to slow down and take time to recover and allow your mind, your brain to view things in a different way while you're maybe going at half speed in order for you to speed up later down the road. I genuinely believe that, taking time for rest and recovery in order for you to go even harder the next time around. Allowing yourself and giving yourself time to recalibrate, refocus, recenter. But as long as you are being honest with yourself and you know that you're putting in work, you're putting in effort, then that should hopefully provide you with a lot of confidence to continue to take action and continue to take strides towards the direction that you want to go in, the direction that you want to head in, or continue to take strides in becoming the person who you want to be. If you decide that you are always still in the game and that there's always new, exciting ways you can grow and get better and make progress towards wherever it is you are headed, then failure just simply is not in the equation. It doesn't exist. Social media has done an incredible job at making us feel like we are not in the right places, that we're behind, that we are not good enough, and that there's always someone who is ahead of you in some way. Social media does a really good job at making you judge yourself, criticize yourself, and compare just where you are to where everyone else is. It does a really good job at that. The truth is, you are exactly where you need to be. And I don't mean that in a cliche way, but I genuinely believe that we all are in the exact places that we need to be in. And if we weren't, then we'd be somewhere else. There's always a lesson to be gained from whatever circumstances you are in. I genuinely believe that. Do I have any real evidence that that's the case? I don't even think you need to. As long as you know deep down that there's a lesson to be learned in whatever season you're going through or whatever circumstances are in front of you, if there's a lesson to be learned, you believe there's a lesson to be learned and something that you need to experience, or something that you need to go through, then you just embrace every single step of your journey, of your process. The journey only unfolds one step at a time. Like, the present moment is the only moment that we have. Whatever it is you are going through, or whatever step is presented in the now, is the step that you need to take. You can spend that time in the present moment judging yourself and comparing what you have to what somebody else has, or you can learn to make the present moment a friend and appreciate the fact that maybe if you just stop spending time comparing yourself to other people and judging yourself, you could actually learn more from what's around you in your environment or your circumstances, your situation, that will help you grow and move forward and make more progress towards where it is you want to go. Also, I completely understand this is a lot easier said than done, 100%. But I still think it's important to address, and if you could put in some sort of effort, try to be more present, for example, then I think it will help. Maybe if you stopped comparing yourself and judging yourself and wishing you were somewhere else, if you just focused on the step that you're currently taking, it'll allow you to realize that I've actually made a ton of progress. I may still have a goal that I'm trying to achieve or a place that I want to go to, but look at all the things I've done in the past that have helped me get to where I am now. Look how much growth and progress I've made on my journey to the goal that I'm currently heading towards. Think about it. Maybe where you are right now is where you wish you were 3 years ago. Maybe there's something in your life right now, not the whole picture, but maybe there's something that you once wished you had, that you once prayed that you had, that you now do have. But you're constantly focused and fixated on getting somewhere that you just no longer appreciate that. By expressing more gratitude for those things, by being in the moment and looking around in your environment and allowing yourself to be a sponge and just soak up everything that's going on right now and accept it or learn from it in some way, grow from it, that will help you. But majority of people are just fixated on some future destination, thinking that they need to get there in order to feel the way that they want to feel. And they judge themselves and they compare themselves to random people that they don't even know on social media and think that they can't feel satisfied or happy with themselves until they get there. And don't get me wrong, social media is a great tool. I think if you use social media to inspire you, if you use social media to follow accounts and people who motivate you, if you follow people who inspire you, if you follow people who live a certain life that you want to live, but you aren't so attached to the idea that you have to get there to feel satisfied, I think then it can be productive. I think you can get a lot of value from social media. But if you are using it unconsciously and you're just scrolling aimlessly, it can really suck you into a trap where you're just comparing yourself to what everyone else is doing. Like I said at the beginning of this recording, of course we all want to be successful in the things that we're doing, obviously. If you're working towards a goal, of course you want to be successful in that goal. But it's important to balance that ambition with gratitude, with appreciating where you are right now on your journey, on your path, while hopefully getting yourself to a point where you know that the step that you are currently taking is the only thing that exists. The thought of reaching a certain destination in your future is literally in your head. It's a vision, of course, and I think it's important to have a vision and a direction that you're headed towards, of course. But if you're in your head all the time, you're going to miss out on what is currently in front of you and the things that you are doing right now to actually help you get there. And if you are programmed or conditioned to constantly look ahead, even when you do arrive at the destinations that you once hoped you would get to, because you're conditioned to constantly look ahead, you won't even enjoy being there. It won't even provide you with satisfaction, like maybe temporarily, but over a long enough time horizon, whether it be a week, whether it be a few months, or a few years, you're conditioned to look ahead. So you'll always want something new. So learning to appreciate yourself, learning not to judge yourself, learning to be kinder to yourself, in my opinion, is very advantageous. An example from my own life, which will hopefully maybe provide some sort of value. Currently building Presence of Being. If you are listening to this, thank you for being a part of our community. I know I say that all the time, but I genuinely mean it. These podcast recordings, these episodes, are action that I take by recording them, editing them, and putting them out on YouTube and on Spotify or Apple or wherever you listen to this. That is me taking action towards my vision. Are these recordings perfect? Absolutely not. However, are these recordings better than they were a year ago? I would say yes. 100%. I'm more comfortable talking in front of a camera. I am more comfortable talking and just speaking. I feel like I am articulating myself better. I'm just more comfortable. I've gotten better at editing. Do I think that these recordings can get better? Of course, and they will. But each upload, each time I sit down to record a podcast, each time I sit down and edit a podcast, that is me making progress towards the vision. Do I have the vision in mind? Of course. I think about it all the time. I visualize it all the time. But I still understand the significance of the now and doing what I can do in the now to progress towards that vision. And I understand that step is significant. There's literally no other time except the now. And the action that I take, or the action that I am taking, the action that we all take within the now is significant because it's part of the greater vision. But you have to take that step. And you should appreciate that step instead of wishing you were where you want to go or comparing what you are doing to what somebody else is doing. These episodes, of course, are going to get better. They're going to look a lot different in a year from now or in 5 years from now. But I'm still trying my best and putting things out there because I know that it's all in alignment with my ultimate vision. I know that I would be uploading content. That version of me who is in my vision would be uploading content and trying their best and being as authentic as they can be, just being themselves and expressing themselves and trying to make a positive impact. That's what I'm doing now. Will I be doing it in a different way in my vision? Maybe, because I'll have different resources and the brand will be bigger and etc. But I'm focused on the now and the step that I'm taking in the now. So what are you doing in the now to help you progress towards where it is you're going? And how can you just appreciate the fact that it's all part of your vision? It's all part of the unfolding of your vision. And realize that there is significance in every single step of your process, everything that you're doing. If it's in alignment with your goal or with your vision, it's significant. In the example that I gave a second ago with like building Presence of Being in these podcast recordings, I could make these recordings and be bitter because it's not perfect and I don't have the best microphone set up or I don't have the best production and I'm not in the places that I want to be in because I don't have this or I don't have that or this isn't perfect, etc. And I could compare like what other people are doing to what I'm doing and not be satisfied and content within the now, within the present moment, doing what I'm doing. Or I could just understand that it's all part of my journey to growing and building what we are building here with Presence of Being and understand that this step is in front of me and I'm going to take this step because it's significant, because it's part of my journey. And I'm just simply going to make the most out of it. In my eyes, those are the two ways you can look at it. And I could just be grateful for the fact that I'm in alignment with my vision and I've made a lot of progress. And I could be grateful for the fact that I've gotten more comfortable recording these podcasts. So there are two very clear and obvious ways you can look at whatever it is you are doing, and you get to choose which one you want to accept. You can choose the way that you want to look at things, either negatively or positively. And I truly believe that if you start looking at things from a more positive lens and you start being grateful, things just get a lot easier and more enjoyable. And you really get to enjoy the growth and the journey of getting to the places that you want to get to, building what you're building, creating what you're creating. I believe that through presence, through being consciously in the now, whether that be through meditation, practicing meditation consistently. And when I get asked about how long a beginner meditator should meditate for, I normally say 5 to 10 minutes, but you can meditate for however long you want. I don't even think it needs to be like I like to sit down and, set a timer on my phone, but you can go for a walk and meditate as long as you aren't identified with your thoughts and you're just aware of everything that's going on around you, while obviously being safe. But, for a beginner, meditating 5 to 10 minutes, I think over time, if you can practice presence, you start to become more aware of the fact that you are full and whole and complete right now, and you are good as you are, and you don't need anything externally to make you feel more whole. That realization, in my opinion, is very, very powerful. And this is something that I am slowly realizing as I continue to grow and learn. And I don't think anyone is fully perfect at any of this, but in my experience, in my opinion, the more I meditate and the more I take conscious breaths in the present moment, the more I try, even though I don't even think you need to try to do it. I think it's about removing things in order to let this actually happen. Like, it's a very natural state being present. But the more I intend to make presence a priority and practice presence, the more whole I feel. And I don't feel like I need to arrive somewhere in order to make me feel fulfilled. It's a cool feeling. In addition to this, you just start to realize that by just being yourself, being your true self, and allowing that to shine through in the things that you do, you're going to be happier. You're going to feel more content and more peace internally, instead of just operating from your ego and thinking that you have to do whatever it is you're doing to impress someone, or because you think you would look cool to impress somebody. Like, obviously there's a million different ways the ego can materialize in our lives, but the main point I'm trying to make here is through presence, you start feeling more whole. You don't feel like you need to get somewhere in order to make you feel the way that you want to feel. So stop judging yourself. Enjoy where you are. Enjoy the process to getting to the places that you want to get to, because literally that's like you're in the place that you need to be in. Like, if you can have that mindset, I think you're going to be at an advantage. You don't need to compare yourself to other people, because people are doing their own thing and living their own life, and this is your life. Like, it's a blessing to be even alive. And if you are someone who's ambitious, even more so, because there's a lot of people who aren't ambitious. Like, if you have a goal or a vision or something that you want to do with your life, something that you want to create, something that you want to build, maybe, that is special. It's incredible. But just don't think that you need to get there or achieve in order to feel the way that you want to feel. The real achievement is in becoming and growing and maturing as a person, as an individual, and hopefully making a positive contribution in the process, at least in my opinion. Failure is not an option. Failure just simply does not exist when you have the mindset that you're constantly growing, you're constantly maturing, and the fact that you have a goal or something that you want to achieve, and you're just allowing your true self to express while making progress and enjoying every single moment, that's fulfillment. Like, failure isn't an option when you start viewing things like this, in my opinion, when you start to develop this mindset. How could you fail? Because even if you fall flat on your face, you still learned something. You became better from it, hopefully. Unless you succumb to the failure and you start comparing yourself constantly to what could have been or somebody else. Like, even if you do that, you're still in the game because you can turn it around. You can still make progress even if you fall flat on your face. And even if you don't realize this early on or soon after you fail. You could fail and sulk and still turn it around. And then it's not a failure because you grew from it. And maybe it did require some time in order for you to learn that lesson, but you still came out of it. You still grew from it. So it's not a failure. It's just a lesson. You either win or you learn. Unless you decide that you don't want to play the game anymore, meaning you don't want to go after the things that you're going after. But even still, then maybe you'll go on a different path and do something else. But you're always in the game. Like, you're always still in the game. There's always an opportunity to grow from whatever it is you're doing and still make progress towards the direction that you want to go in my opinion. You're always still in the game. You're always one decision away from a completely different life. So if there's action that you want to take or something that you want to do, even in the smallest of ways, if you can start making progress towards that thing, you are winning. The second that you decide that you are going to do something and you are going to become the person who you want to become, and you start to realize that failure isn't an option, you stop comparing yourself to other people, you stop judging yourself because you know that's unproductive. You just focus on that one step that you are taking in the present moment to help you get to where it is you want to go. And you start to know that you're whole, full, and complete now. And you start taking action from that place of wholeness and completeness and love and certainty within yourself. You're unstoppable. It really doesn't matter how long something takes. It's inevitable. It's done. You've already won. You are always still in the game. And I think having this mindset, in my opinion, really just solidifies that. So this is an interesting recording. I hope you got some value from this. I'd like to say, and I know I say this every single recording, but it's the truth, I really, really do appreciate you being a part of our community and being a part of everything that we're building at Presence of Being. I don't normally ask people to do this, but if you haven't subscribed yet to the YouTube, I would greatly appreciate you doing that, or following the community on Instagram at Presence of Being, or just leaving a positive review on this podcast. It would really help a lot and mean a lot. So, and just help get this message out. If you're someone who's passionate about this kind of stuff, passionate about the present moment and self-growth and self-development, then you know how amazing it is to continue to grow and continue to get better. And I'm sure that there are other people who you may know who may be interested in this, and by supporting what we're doing, it helps get the message out. And yeah, so thank you again for being here. Thank you for listening. I really do enjoy making these recordings, so there'll definitely be more on the way. And if you have any comments or any questions or anything, you can always DM me on Instagram at Presence of Being. That's where I am most responsive, for sure. So again, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, and I will see you in the next recording very soon.